It's unbelievable how it shows up. Unbelievable how it shows up. So living life full throttle. It's scary riding a motorcycle. It is. It's scary, but the experience and the fun opened a whole new area for me. So it's funny, yesterday I was in Denver at an autograph event at a BMW dealer. And about 2 months ago, I had been trying to get a speaking engagement at the Mile High Church in Denver. You know that church? Big, big church. I didn't get past the first call. I mean, it just wasn't going to happen. And so you don't push. You just turn towards what works, right? So I let it go. And I'm in Denver at the BMW dealer in Denver, and I give a talk. And this guy walks up afterwards, and he goes, "You have to speak at the Mile High Church. You have to." And I go, "Okay." I mean, that's what happens when you set your intention and you don't get tangled up in it and emotionally involved. Life just happens. It starts to flow. You move in the direction of flow and ease. So where does that core imprint come from? Where does that core imprint come from? I was home visiting my mom not too long ago. And you know, when they hit 80, there's no new stories, right? I mean, it's the same old stories year after year. You've heard them all. But we were playing Indiana Rummy. And I was licking my wounds for my serial losses with my mom, because she cheats, you know, I mean. And I let her. I mean, she's 86, you know. And she stopped, and she told a story I'd never heard. Never heard it before. She said, you know, when I was in grade school, she said, I was walking home from school. It was fall in Michigan. And she said the wind was blowing, and the leaves were moving around. She said, and it was chilly and cold, and I didn't have a coat. And she said, I walked into a doorway of a store, and I was just freezing. And she said, so I had the courage to just go inside to get warm. And this man says, come over here, young lady. And she was terrified that she was going to get in trouble. And she walked over, and this man put a coat around her shoulders, and he said, this coat was made for you. And then she cried, sobbing. And I just let her. And then I got an aha, you know, this core imprint that we feel flawed, inherently flawed, vulnerable. We don't want to share who we really are. Was that where it came from? Because she felt so much shame, and she carried that shame all her life. How many of you have mothers in that age group that won't take a gift? You can't pay to have their hair done. I mean, they have that feeling, you know, of they're not good enough and the shame of that. And so that was the first time I got a personal aha of where I might have acquired that. A fun versus a fear-based life. It's available to you. You set the intention. You ask for what you want. You set your internal navigational system. I have another button on my motorcycle called the Easy Ride button. It is. It's called the Easy Ride button. And when we're on secondary roads, you know how they are. They're kind of bumpy. You hit this Easy Ride button, and it smooths out the road and the ride. You know, it's like you're just tooling down the road. And we have an Easy Ride button. We can set that intention and make it happen for us. The motorcycle people have a community, and it's called the Wave. I learned the Wave. Have you seen it? I even wave when I'm in the car. I mean, go by a motorcycle, you wave. Because it's a connection of people who are feeling joy and aliveness. It's like the Center for Spiritual Living. I love that name because we have a Center for Spiritual Living inside us. And I love that that wave represents what? A unity and a connection of something that everybody enjoys and can. I have actually fallen over on my bike riding. I pulled over one time and I fell over, and it's like fell over. And within 30 nanoseconds, I mean, a motorcyclist pulled in, came and helped me pick up my bike, and off they went. It's that kind of unity, that kind of sense that, like when I walk into Denver or anywhere and someone's in the audience and they have that energy of metaphysics, you know, there's that connection. And it's wonderful, isn't it? It's that identification with others of like-mindedness. So I'd like to close today sharing with you that you do make a choice, and we're not a plant. Okay, I talked about repotting myself, but I don't feel that I'll ever have to do that again. Instead, I've become more of a vessel that has fluid. I have movement, and I can flow in the direction that I want to go. I don't have to break a pot or grow out of it anymore. I can just expand and have that sense of movement that moves me in the direction I want to go. And that's what I'd like to invite you to do today, to make a choice, to set an intention. Up to now, you may have had this experience or that experience, but you can change it and you can move in the direction you want to go. And then you start to live life full throttle. Thank you.